Hey, how's it going? I'm William with Man and Dolly, and today I'm going to show you how to wrap up a dresser by yourself. It is a lot easier to do it with some help, but I'm going to show you how to do it with yourself because during a move, you got to be resourceful and you got to improvise. You may not always have equipment necessary to get the job done, and you got to kind of improvise. Maybe if you don't have professional moving blankets, you'll have just some comforter or a blanket or something like that around. Or one time I had a customer and they didn't want to use my materials, so they had me wrap up a piece of furniture with some homemade saran wrap. I can do that. So, but today we're going to use the equipment in here, and then later in another video I'm going to show you how to strap it to a dolly because this bad boy is heavy. It's probably about anywhere between 200-300 pounds or something like that if I had to guess. I don't have a scale large enough to weigh it, but that's my guesstimation. So I have links to all this equipment if you want to do it and do it right. Even my back brace, which I live by and I will always use when lifting things heavy. So let's step right into it. So I'm going to move this over here, get this out the way. So we're going to need 2 moving blankets for this because this is a larger item, and the most important things to cover when wrapping up a piece of furniture is, of course, the top, the front, and the sides. The back is usually not finished, but on top of that, you also want to cover the feet and the bottom of the furniture as well. So we're going to do that, and in order to do that, you'll need 2 blankets. So with these, first, what I like to do is I like to put it up like this, and I know I'm going to need 2, so I'm going to go ahead over because I want it to be enough to wrap around the sides. So I go ahead here, let it drape a little bit so that I know I have enough to cover the legs, and then I go ahead and drape that. And what I do before I get to the other one is I pull this around to see if I could cover the whole side. And right now, I cannot. So I need to pull it a little further towards me. I pull it from here. And then from there, let's see here. Boom. And there we go. That'll be enough to cover that. And then from there, we go ahead and get the other blanket and do the same thing. Same thing, let a little drag on the ground so that you know you had enough for the feet, and then you drape it over and go ahead and make sure it's sized to fit. Pull it from here, go ahead and take it around, make sure that it's going to cover the whole thing and down the sides, and it will. So typically with shrink wrap, some people use tape and then shrink wrap from there. Me, I'm used to using tape, using shrink wrap. So because I'm alone and I don't have anyone to hold it, I usually will go ahead and pull a little extra. I'll get it in a little ball, and I'm going to put it under the back leg of this thing. So I'm going to tilt it a little bit. All right. That way that's going to hold it for me. And then I'm going to go ahead and start going around. Now here, I'm going to hold it with one hand. Oh, it went ahead and fell. We can go ahead and redo this. There we go. There we go. So right about here, I'm going to pull this again so that we can wrap around there. Get that just right. Boom. There we go. And now I'm going to use a common technique that I use to hold two blankets together. And this also helps the whole wrap to stick together so that the blanket isn't sliding whenever you're carrying it, moving it around. It'll stay in place. And it's very important whenever you're wrapping that you're actually giving resistance to the stretch wrap, because otherwise it's going to be a very loose wrap and it's not going to stay in place and it's not going to hold the blanket, because ultimately the wrap's purpose is to hold the blanket to the piece of furniture so that it stays in place. And now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and tilt it up, and I want to get under this feet, so I'm going to knock that blanket down. And this is why I always recommend that you do have two people, especially if you don't know what you're doing, because this can be very dangerous. I have been doing this for over 7 years, so this is training. There we go. All right, and there you go. And if you're actually going to encounter wet weather and you don't want your blankets and then it to seep through to your piece of furniture, then you can do a complete wrap. And in that case, you want to go back and forth, and you want to go in a back and forth motion so that you cover all this, and even the bottom as well, especially if you're going to blanket it. You can flip it up on its side and then go around. If you're interested and you want me to make a video of that, I can do a 360 wrap, is what I call it. I do it a lot when customers are going to be in storage for a long time and they have certain things that are going to be cloth, like a couch that is made of a cloth material, or something of the sort, whether it's a chair or pillows, or sometimes if people don't have a mattress protector, then I will 360 wrap it upon request whenever I'm on the job. Now, go ahead, take a second and go ahead and watch the next video where I'm going to take this same dresser and I'm going to strap it to the dolly. Awesome. I'll see you then.